Title: Stefon Diggs gets emotional after Cardi B's confession. The world of music and sports had seen many unexpected crossovers, but none captured the public's attention quite like the bond between Stefon Diggs, the NFL superstar known for his swagger and intensity, and Cardi B, the outspoken rap queen who wore her heart on her sleeve. What started as light-hearted social media banter had grown into something deeper, something real, something that blurred the line between friendship, admiration, and unspoken love. A night that changed everything. It all began during an after-party in Miami. Cardi had just finished a high-energy performance, and Stefon, fresh from another winning game, happened to be in the crowd. Cameras caught the two exchanging smiles, but what the world didn't know was that the energy between them wasn't staged, it was genuine. That night, as the neon lights faded and the music mellowed, Cardi and Stefon found themselves alone on the balcony overlooking the ocean. She laughed about how fans were already making memes of them, and he replied with that calm confidence that melted through her walls. "You got the whole world's attention, B," Stefon said softly. "But who gets yours when the lights go out?" Cardi paused, her eyes reflecting the moonlight. "That's the problem," she whispered. "I don't even know anymore." The confession heard around the world. Weeks passed. Rumors swirled. Blogs wrote that Cardi had been spotted at several of Stefon's games, always low-key, hidden behind sunglasses and a hoodie. The chemistry was undeniable, but neither confirmed anything. Then, during an emotional Instagram live, Cardi opened up in a way no one expected. Tears filled her eyes as she spoke to millions of fans watching from around the world. "I've been holding a lot in," she began, her voice trembling slightly. "People always see the loud Cardi, the one who's always turned up, but they don't see when I'm quiet. When I feel empty. And lately, there's been someone who's seen that side of me. Someone who didn't want nothing from me, just me." The comments section exploded. Viewers flooded her live with heart emojis and question marks. But she wasn't done. "I don't know what God's plan is, but this man, he showed me what peace feels like. He ain't chasing clout. He ain't trying to change me. He just listens. That's rare. Real rare." She didn't mention Stefon's name directly, but everyone knew. Within minutes, the internet broke. Stefon's reaction. When Stefon saw the live, he was sitting in his car outside practice, scrolling through notifications that wouldn't stop pinging. He watched in silence as Cardi's words echoed through his speakers. His tough exterior, the same one he wore on the field, slowly crumbled. He closed his eyes and exhaled deeply. "Damn, B," he muttered. "You really said it." For years, Stefon had kept his emotions guarded. Fame taught him that vulnerability could be twisted and used against him. But Cardi's honesty hit him differently. She wasn't afraid to show her scars, and that made him realize how much he'd been hiding behind his own. That night, he sent her a message. "Stefon, you didn't have to say all that on live, but I felt every word. You don't even know how much that meant. Cardi, I didn't do it for the blogs. I did it for me. For once, I wanted to speak truth. Stefon, you did. And it hit me harder than any tackle I ever took." A private moment, a public storm. The next morning, paparazzi photos of Cardi leaving Stefon's mansion surfaced online. She wore an oversized hoodie, his hoodie. The same one he wore post-game 2 weeks before. Fans lost their minds. Hashtags like #CardiandStef and #TouchdownLove trended worldwide. Meanwhile, the two of them stayed silent. Behind closed doors, they talked for hours. Cardi confessed how broken she had felt for months, torn between her career pressures, public scrutiny, and personal doubts. Stefon listened without judgment, reminding her that she didn't need to prove her strength to anyone. "You're already strong," he told her. "Just don't forget you deserve peace too." Her eyes softened. "And you deserve someone who sees you, not the fame, not the flex, just you." He reached for her hand, and for a moment, the world outside didn't exist. 5. The interview that melted millions. A few weeks later, Stefon sat down for a rare interview after practice. When asked about Cardi's confession, he didn't dodge the question. Instead, his tone shifted from athlete confidence to quiet sincerity. "She's one of the realest people I've ever met," he said. "People think they know her from social media, but they don't know the woman behind it. She's got a heart that's bigger than any stage she's ever stood on." The clip went viral within minutes. Fans replayed his words over and over. Comment sections were filled with messages like, "He really loves her. That's not PR talk, he's speaking from the heart." Stefon Diggs just gave the most emotional quote of 2025. 6. Behind the curtain. Late one evening, Cardi invited Stefon to her studio. She had something to play for him, a track she'd been secretly working on. As the beat dropped, her voice poured through the speakers, raw and emotional. Musical notes: "You held my silence when I had nothing to say. Found me in the noise, you showed me a way. Not fame, not lights, just your calm in my storm. For once, I ain't fightin', your love keeps me warm." Musical notes. When the song ended, Stefon's eyes glistened. He didn't speak right away. He simply stood up, pulled her into a hug, and whispered, "That's the realest thing anyone ever did for me." She smiled through tears. "Guess we even now, huh?" 7. The internet reacts. When Cardi released the song publicly a week later, without naming him but leaving enough hints, the world went wild. Fans decoded every lyric, and music journalists called it her most vulnerable record yet. Stefon reposted it with just one caption: "You spoke my soul. Broken heart, black heart." It became the most liked post on his page, and even the NFL's official account reshared it with the caption, "When football meets feelings." 8. The silent understanding. Despite the chaos, Stefon and Cardi agreed to keep their bond private. They didn't need labels, hashtags, or validation. What they shared was real, and that was enough. Months later, at an award show, the cameras caught a tender moment: Cardi walking past Stefon's seat, brushing her hand lightly across his shoulder. He smiled, that quiet, knowing smile that said everything words couldn't. The internet noticed. But this time, neither of them cared. 9. The emotional letter. One quiet night, Stefon wrote Cardi a letter. He never intended to post it or even send it, it was just something his heart needed to say. But Cardi found it weeks later when visiting his home. The letter read, "You reminded me that strength ain't in silence, it's in honesty. I used to think emotions made a man weak. But you taught me that real strength is being seen for who you truly are, flaws and all. Thank you for showing me that peace can come from chaos, and love don't always have to be loud." When she finished reading, tears rolled down her cheeks. 10. A love the world could feel. In the months that followed, neither confirmed whether they were together, but every time Cardi was at a Bills game or every time Stefon posted lyrics that echoed her songs, the world knew something special was happening. It wasn't about fame. It wasn't about headlines. It was about two souls who found healing in each other's honesty. And in a world obsessed with filters and facades, their unspoken connection reminded everyone watching that real emotion is the most powerful confession of all. Title: Stefon Diggs gets emotional after Cardi B's confession. It all started on a chilly Friday evening in Los Angeles. The night was painted with gold and purple lights as celebrities filled the Dolby Theater for the Music and Sports Icons Gala. The event aimed to celebrate crossover figures who had made an impact in both entertainment and sports, and one of the most anticipated appearances was the Buffalo Bills star receiver, Stefon Diggs, alongside Cardi B, the queen of Bronx-born rap fire. Rumors had been circling for weeks. Social media had exploded after a few fans noticed that Cardi had been spotted courtside at a basketball game, sitting suspiciously close to Diggs. Blogs went wild, fan pages speculated endlessly, and TikTok detectives analyzed every emoji the two left on each other's posts. But no one expected what was about to unfold that night. The unexpected reunion. When Cardi B arrived on the red carpet, the crowd screamed louder than the flashing cameras could handle. Dressed in a glittering crimson gown that hugged her curves and reflected every flash of light, she looked like royalty. A few moments later, Stefon Diggs stepped onto the carpet in a tailored black suit with diamond studs glinting in his ears. For a moment, the air felt heavy, as if everyone knew something was about to happen. "Cardi! Over here," reporters shouted. "Stefon, look this way." But both of them only had eyes for each other. When their gazes met, Cardi smiled, that familiar, mischievous, confident smile, and Diggs couldn't help but grin back, nervous but drawn in. By the time they both made it inside the gala, fans online were already losing their minds. "They look too good together," loudly crying face fire #Cardi and Diggs. "This energy feels different. Don't tell me Cardi bout to drop a confession tonight eyes." Little did anyone know, that was exactly what was coming. The confession. As the evening progressed, the event's host announced a surprise. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cardi B to the stage for a very special message." The crowd roared as Cardi, microphone in hand, took the stage under a dim spotlight. Behind her, soft piano chords filled the air. Her voice trembled slightly, rare for someone known for unshakable confidence. "I've been holding something in," she began, glancing toward Stefon Diggs, who was seated near the front row, his eyes fixed on her. "And sometimes, you meet someone when you least expect it. Someone who reminds you that you're more than what the world sees. Someone who listens to your silence, not just your songs." The room fell completely silent. "Stefon," she said softly, locking eyes with him, "you've been my peace when I was surrounded by noise. You helped me find strength again, not as Cardi B, the superstar, but as Belcalis. And I'm not ashamed to say this in front of the world. You mean something to me. Something real." The audience gasped. Cameras flashed. Every second of that moment was being recorded by hundreds of phones. Stefon froze, his hands gripping the armrests of his chair. His eyes began to glisten. It was the kind of raw emotion fans rarely saw from him. The usually cool, confident receiver looked overwhelmed, humbled, and visibly emotional. Stefon's reaction. As Cardi stepped down from the stage, Stefon rose from his seat. He didn't care that every camera was pointed at him, he walked straight toward her. The crowd erupted in applause as the two met in the middle of the room. Cardi smiled nervously. "I didn't mean to." But before she could finish, Stefon gently took her hand. "You didn't have to say all that," he said softly, his voice trembling, "but I'm glad you did." He paused, his throat tightening as tears began to form. "You saw me when the world only saw my stats. You cared about the person, not the player. And that means more than any touchdown I'll ever score." Cardi's eyes filled with tears too. For a moment, the world stopped, no music, no applause, just two souls standing under golden lights, surrounded by people but lost in their own universe. The emotional aftermath. Later that night, backstage, Stefon and Cardi sat together away from the chaos of flashing lights and reporters. He was still emotional, his usual swagger replaced by quiet sincerity. "You really meant all that?" he asked softly. Cardi smiled, touching his cheek. "You think I'd go on stage just to play?" she teased lightly, then sighed. "You showed me how to be still. How to just breathe. I never had that before." Stefon took a deep breath, his voice breaking slightly. "Nobody ever told me I was someone's piece before." That line, raw, unfiltered, and full of vulnerability, spread across the internet like wildfire. Within minutes, the clip of their emotional exchange had gone viral. Fans flooded X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram with comments. "This is the softest I've ever seen Diggs loudly crying face loudly crying face loudly crying face." Cardi really melted that man's heart-weary face red heart. This feels like something out of a movie. By the next morning, #Cardi and